Hello everybody, this is Mr. Curry and welcome to the very last video in our series on Chapter 3 in Sociology. We are wrapping up Section 3, which is called Social Change. And the last part we have to consider here and talk about is the three things that resist social change, or the three things that cause a society to resist any type of change. The previous video we talked about the various sources of social change, meaning the things that cause a society to change. We're going to wrap up Chapter 3 with the factors that resist social change. The first one is not a new word to us. It is ethnocentrism. That came up in some previous chapters. And ethnocentrism basically sends the message to cultures, well, if I think my culture is best, then there's no need to change. Why should I be the one to change if I already think that my way of doing things is superior? So in many cases that ethnocentrism is going to hurt a society because there are always ways that a society can improve, and they're very much like an individual. Once an individual stops trying to look at better ways of doing everything, that's when their progress usually stalls. So same thing works with cultures and societies as a whole. Ethnocentrism of already thinking your way is best, why do I need to change, that is going to hold a society back. Having a vested interest sometimes is something that prevents a society from changing. And the question basically becomes, why change if I am currently benefiting in the system that already exists? So sometimes a society would say, well, we're winning kind of in the world. We have a top economy. We're the ones who are powerful and strong. So therefore, why change? If it's not broken, don't fix it. So sometimes a society will have a vested interest, which basically says that if you are up at the top of your game and you are benefiting from the current system or the way the rules and procedures are set up, if you are winning, then you certainly don't want to change the rules midstream. So sometimes having a vested interest prevents a society from looking towards any type of change because they are already benefiting from the current system, so why change it? The third one is also a term that has come up before, and that is called cultural lag. Cultural lag, as it says here, refers to a period when the non-material culture, meaning the beliefs, the ideas, the rules, and so forth, struggles to adapt to and keep up with the new material conditions. So basically, that's a fancy way of saying that technology, the actual technology, will always be invented first, and then society has to play catch-up with the rules. How are we going to handle this new technology? What are the procedures? What are the laws? And there's many different examples of that. For example, when the automobile was created, of course, we had no traffic laws immediately. The automobile came out first, and then society had to struggle and find out, okay, well, what are we going to do with these automobiles? We keep having these accidents, so we need to create laws, speed limits, and stop signs, and things like that. So that's a case where the automobile arrived first, and then our society's non-material culture related to the automobile had to play catch-up based on the problems that began to become apparent because of the automobile. Same thing occurs today with cell phones and cell phone laws. Cell phones exist, and then schools have to scramble. Well, what are the procedures with cell phones? Are we going to allow kids to have them in the classroom, in the hallway, in the cafeteria? That's a way of a school's culture of trying to play catch-up. Even though every kid has a cell phone, the rules and procedures are not generally set for a while. That takes time. Same thing with medical technology. We have the technology right now to clone human beings. That's not the issue. The technology exists. It's ready to go. What is causing problems or the delay in that is the arguments over whether or not cloning human beings is actually ethical. Do we need laws prohibiting certain aspects of that, or cloning altogether? Those are the things that a society struggles with. So the material culture comes out first, and then the non-material culture struggles to catch up. Because those are the things that we generally don't have agreement on. It takes time to create laws and procedures, and therefore society sometimes struggles to change rapidly because we have to slow things down and try to figure out how we're going to manage this new technology and other aspects of the material culture. Well, that's going to wrap up Chapter 3, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in, and stay tuned for Chapter 4 videos, which should be coming up shortly.